here. Deion Sanders's Colorado team lost. They got beaten badly by a team that was supposed to beat them badly. Oregon, 42-6. I'm not going to feed the beast that is our anger and ire to play the coach and all of his talking about we play for to win. They play for clicks and all of this BS because we know what it is. We know what it is. And we've always known what it is. We've known since the Fab Five that this country is comfortable as long as people stay in their place where they're comfortable. But, people got to be free. Freedom looks like this. So I didn't expect Deion Sanders to win this game or the next one. So either one of these would have been major upsets. They won a total of one game last year, so they've already far exceeded, but the culture has shifted completely. And there are 4 Black coaches in the top 20, the top 25 in NCAA. And let me just fully disclose, I don't cover college football at all. Never watched it. I never covered it, never watched it, don't care about it. This season is not about football for me. So 42-6 on Saturday, I watched it. It was horrible to watch, but it just shows, and those people who were cheering, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. Were you cheering? I get it, but most of us are cheering because Deion Sanders represents culture in a way that makes us feel like, okay, we are all going together. But I've always kind of understood this was never an us thing. This is definitely about Deion Sanders, his sons, the kids on the team. Everyone's benefiting. I'm super happy for the coaches on his staff, all of the people, all of the commerce that's being made around him. I like it, but this is not a movement. So let's calm down. Neither is Usher being at the Super Bowl, by the way, which I'm so mad because, y'all know I boycotted the football, the NFL, something that I did cover and did enjoy until it was just too much to keep allowing for my eyeballs to support an open enemy. But now they've been, teasing us with these, last year was Snoop and them and Mary J. Blige and Gladys Knight. And every year, this year it's Usher. Usher's gonna be at the Super Bowl, and I'm like, man, I see how y'all try to get me to come back in, but nope. Somebody gonna have to DVR it for me or do something. Don't DVR it. No, I'm gonna have to watch the clips. I'm gonna have to go to YouTube afterwards. But that happened as well over the weekend. But let me welcome my partner in power. I know he's a super fan of the football. As well as a connoisseur of all mediums. And I don't know where he's coming from. And I don't know, what is that script over your head? I have questions for you, sir. Let me welcome back to the show. We had an amazing show live on Thursday in the studio, and he's back. 16 books in, the latest, the Kevin Powell Reader, Essential Writings and Conversations. He's also the creator of Grocery Shopping with My Mother, the album out now. Kevin Powell is back. Hi.
This is above me is a quote from Maya Angelou. The gist of it is you people
wait, let me read it. Keep it there. She said, I've learned that whenever I decide something with an open heart, I usually make the right decision. I've learned that even when I have pains and I don't have to be let me try to. I usually make the right decision. I've learned that even when I have pains, I don't have to be one. I've learned that every day you should reach out and touch someone. People love a warm hug or just a friendly pat on the back. I've learned that I still have a lot to learn. I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. This is a great Motivational Monday quote. Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Where'd you get this?
Thank you for reading that. No one's done that before.
Yeah. Where'd you get it? Because it's on like a sheet. It's on like a giant sheet.
Shop in Brooklyn. They sell like quotes from folks, and I love this one from Maya.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I love Maya. So
eclectic. Okay, all right. So, were you glued to the TV on Saturday?
It's interesting. I like you. I have been boycotting football since Colin Kaepernick and the whole issue of concussions and football players, professional ones having the worst contracts. And, people need to know that out of the 140 or 50 Division I coaches in college football, only 14 are Black coaches. So there's a big kind of plantation mentality that still exists in football, and so there's a lot of things And I'm someone who grew up a diehard. When I was a kid growing up in Jersey, where we're both from, I watched football all day, every day on Saturdays, college football, and on Sundays. And part of the reason I'm a writer, Karen, and the first books I read when I started going to the library were actually books about football history because I was mesmerized by the sports writing books that described what it was like to play football. So it was in me, and it's a big deal that I started to move away from it. But I had to watch, and you're right, Deion and the team got beat down on Saturday. But it's interesting that people are symbolically gravitating toward Deion and the Colorado team the way people gravitated toward John Thompson and Georgetown back in the day, or Michigan's Fab Five. I just think Black folks need symbolic victories. This is why we gravitated towards Venus and Serena. Even Tiger Woods,
Yes.
he didn't want to claim us, we still claim him. You know what I'm saying? Because we need symbolic victories. But it's like you said, it's much bigger than all of that because we still have to deal with the issue of how these folks, the racism that you saw from the coach from the other team, they use coded language. They use things like, well, they're flashy and they want clicks and stuff like that. I'm like, come on, we know what this is. And there was a lot of debates about it. I posted about the racism, and then all of a sudden I had a whole bunch of folks arguing with each other on all my social media pages on Saturday, Sunday about what I said, back and forth. It's been interesting, real interesting
Why
to
don't
see.
people want to accept the climate? It's like the knee-jerk reaction is to defend the
Yeah,
behavior,
yeah.
as opposed to like, okay, yeah, what is this about? You didn't have that energy last week when you played
No,
Georgia.
no,
Well,
not
what's the
at all.
difference?
Well, it's Deion Sanders is the difference. I mean, we know it. You and I remember, at least we were kids, we remember vaguely, at least Muhammad Ali and what he represented to people. And so we just don't like outspoken Black folks. I'm sure people feel that way about you and I. Like, how dare you have these opinions? How dare you even speak your mind? Why would you even have a mind? It's all these different things that we see happening with Deion Sanders. And it's just perpetual. And it says a lot about where we are and where we are not in this country, where we're still threatened if a Black person simply says how they feel about stuff. I mean, my favorite quote from Deion Sanders that is all over social media often is that, my confidence, is not responsible for your insecurity. I mean, that's how dare he even say something like that? But I mean, I don't think that what I said to someone the other day, Karen, when I was growing up in the sixth or seventh grade in Jersey City, my mother sent me to the best schools possible. And so I was in a wave of kids, I'm sure we both were, who were integrating schools. I had a white gym teacher, white male gym teacher, who felt compelled to tell me because I had the audacity to look him in the eye and to talk to him, not in a disrespectful way, because I was raised to respect people, but with confidence. He actually said to me with anger that one day he was going to knock the chip off my shoulder. This is a grown man in his 30s or 40s. I was 12. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And so when you have those kind of experiences over and over again, you're kind of like, there's something deeper here around racism and how people are socialized to look at themselves and to look at other people and how we get quickly threatened. So this is what Deion represents. This is this storm of stuff happening simply because of who he is. And so people are relishing that he lost and how they lost. They're relishing, his surgeries to deal with his post-football issues. It's a lot of stuff that has to be unpacked, but it all comes back to how we've been socialized. What we were talking about the other day when I was there in the studio with you, the same exact stuff. People don't know who they are, and so they're threatened by you if you happen to know who you are.
It's not even who you are, whatever. I just finished Hulu's The Other Black Girl. Didn't enjoy the book at
Mm,
all, so I stopped
mm,
reading. So I was like, I'm gonna finish the Hulu series. I'm gonna support it, but it's this kind of it was, I think, a dark comedy with a little
mm,
sprinkling of the supernatural through the
mm-hmm,
hair
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
grease. Black women were made into this, not docile, this acceptable version of what a black woman would be in corporate America. And it allowed for these, hair pressed, a certain kind of way in which you speak. It allowed them to excel
Yeah,
in corporate America because they fit
yeah,
the
yeah.
comfort, right? It's all about the comfort of the people who are in charge. And
That's
unfortunately,
it.
I attribute this to, I mean, you could be beaten and killed for speaking out for even after Jim Crow, right?
Yeah,
Even after
yeah.
Jim Crow, the punishment was severe for not stepping off of a curb, not averting your eyes, not speaking in dulcet tones. Two or
That's
more
it.
gathered in the office place around a water cooler, raised suspicion. You couldn't
That's it.
laugh too loud. You couldn't be too loud. So there were these muted versions of ourselves that people got used to and assume that that's what it looks like to be a respectable black person, even black people.
That's it.
So
That's
now
it.
you fast forward. and you allow it in certain arenas like sports, but it's showing up everywhere now because people are no longer, and it's showing up in your hair, in your dress. It's showing up everywhere, right? So
Everywhere.
I could never wear a head wrap at the Daily News, or couldn't imagine. I had a perm
Mm,
for so many
mm.
years, and then weave, and many a nights banging on the tight braid that was underneath the weave, and the head would be on fire. I remember driving home one night because the after I had one of those wet and wavy for a minute, and then it would shrink up, and then oh my God, whoo, the torture, the pressure, the business suits, and the way in
Mm,
which you had to conduct yourself. And did it make me a better worker? Did it make my writing better? Did it make me a better reporter? No. It made
mm.
people who were quote unquote bosses comfortable. And is
Yeah.
that what this is supposed to be? Is that what
Well, I
capitalism is?
mean, like the commentary, like who does Deion think he is to be wearing sunglasses? Who does he think he is to wear all this jewelry? You know what I'm saying? But Deion's of our generation. He was doing this when, he's a product of hip hop, which is the
Yes.
brashest music that we've ever created, the most in your face music that we've ever had, and he's very much a product of that. And I just think it's interesting because I'm like, y'all act like he just popped on the scene. He's been here since 1989 when he got drafted into the NFL, and he also played baseball for about 10 years as well. So this is not some new phenomenon of Deion. I mean, for Christ's sakes, there's a video he made back in the day with Hammer that says
Must be the
must be the
money.
money. He was very clear about
Must
his
be the
agenda.
money. Yo.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I run my fingers through her hair as she smiles and says that she loves me. Isn't it lovely when the one you're lusting is the one?